All right, cool beans. So we've got everybody kind of rocking and rolling in. I'm going to go ahead and invite over our panelists now. All right. Hey, Katie, thank you for joining us today.
Of course.
Good stuff. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty on the back end with Anthony, but he should be in here any minute. Zoom as asking for some extra
Credentials today.
authentications today. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but their wish is our command. We just do as we're told.
Exactly.
All right. So we'll give a second for Anthony to try and get in here. Hopefully, he can crack the code and break the case. Um, but just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining us. Welcome. We are really excited to talk about relationships over transactions. I know that as you start to get in the business and you start to get excited and you get that application, people do a deal, or you get that first call for a showing and you're like, yes, this is going to be amazing. And 9 times out of 10, it is. But every now and then you do get those deals and you get those buyers and you get those listings where they're, we'll say, finicky, a little finicky. So, keep it PC. So we have to tread lightly. And every now and then, it's important to remember to keep the relationship strong instead of shooting and trying to just, I don't want to say force, but push everyone towards closing. So, Katie, what comes to mind when we first say relationships over transactions to you?
So what comes to mind for me is, and actually there was a funny TikTok about this. They said like pass the phone to someone who does X, right? And so someone did it before me, and until I saw the video, I didn't know what it was. But they said pass the phone to someone who thinks that every borrower is their new best friend. And that's like that's literally how I feel. And so for me, it's about just like making it more than just like you're buying a house. It's a big thing. And I think, and even for me, I got into a point where my business where I was just like churning business. It was awesome. We did a great job, but I lost that connection with my clients. And so, they weren't telling me about renovations they did. They weren't sending me pictures of their kids at Christmas. And like now they do again. And so for me, it's just like what makes me feel fulfilled. But we have to realize this is a huge piece of someone's life. Like they're not doing this all the time. I moved like
Exactly.
6 times in the last like 7 years. People don't move like that. People move, once every once in a while, and it's a big deal. And this is part of that. And so I want them to know I'm there for them and that I'm going to give them the advice. I tell people, listen, I'll give you the same advice I would give my sister. And I like my sister. Like I jokingly say, I like my sister. So I'd give her good advice. So for me, it's just about that personal connection and not just being another number on the wall.
Yeah, that is a perfect way to put it, especially when you like your sister.
Yes,
That
I do.
makes
I
you
was like,
feel,
and I actually like her. So yeah.
yeah, that's a nice touch. That's an important piece because every now and then you never know.
Yeah, families are tough.
Yeah, that's for sure. So it looks like Anthony did make it in, so we'll give him a second to get settled.
Yay.
I'll give a quick rundown of what we're going to be talking about today and a little introduction of myself. Oh, are we going to be able to see him too?
Something's not working.
Oh, my Lanta.
Can you
Hey,
hear
we
me?
can hear you. We can hear you, so we'll take that.
I have to mess with my settings. I'm going to start doing that
All right, all right.
So
while we talk.
Anthony, if you accidentally left Teams on as well, if you're on video in two meetings, it won't let you. I don't know if
You're
you've
the best.
clicked out of Teams already.
That you are the best. That is probably what's doing it.
Look at
Yay!
you, IT Katie over here.
Look at that.
It's
Thank you.
because I have learned from a lot of mistakes. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't, I mean, I probably was in like 6 different meetings and I'm like, I'm not connected and I couldn't figure it out. It's because I was opening two screens.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
Thank
That's
you.
great. All right, so we'll start with transactions and then, or with introductions, and then we'll jump in. Um, so again, we want to say thank you everybody for coming on. Now that we've got the whole gang here, I am Haley. I'm the corporate social media manager over here at Annie Mac, and I'm also a realtor. This is my 11th year. So it's very exciting to be in the trenches and kind of understand what's going on in the market and in the buyer world and in the real estate world. So I think that that plays a nice touch when I host these masterminds and when we come up with the ideas and the topics for them. So I'm really excited to introduce Katie and Anthony, two of our loan officers that do a wonderful job at making sure referrals come around, making sure that they are staying in touch with all of their clients, and of course, doing a little bit of social media branding. So, Katie, go ahead, tell us a little bit about yourself, what got you into mortgages, and anything else you think is pertinent.
Sure. So, hi, I'm Katie, also known as Katie the Mortgage Lady. And I have a background in hospitality, and I worked for a corporate company called Xerox selling copiers, so sales. And I had a bank approach me saying, "Hey, we think you'd be great for mortgages." And I'm like, "What's mortgages?" I just had no idea. That was 13 years ago. And so I took a leap. For me, I was about to get married. I wanted to have kids. And I said, "Wouldn't it be great if I could go to their soccer game on a Saturday, or, pick them up from school during the week?" Because the job that I had, I was driving to Wilmington, Massachusetts every day. It was like an hour and a half. And I didn't love it. I felt like there was something more for me, and this felt like a good fit. And so I kind of stumbled upon it accidentally, and they trained me from the ground up. And the training you get in this industry, I'm pretty sure is the same as real estate. It's like, you don't really know until you know. And then you're like, "Oh, whoa, I didn't know anything." So now I like to think that I know a lot to be dangerous. And yeah, and I'm in Massachusetts. I was in Florida for 3 years, maintained a lot of relationships with my clients and partners through being remote and traveling up to visit, and just looking at getting back to basics for me. And so this is a perfect topic for me right now.
Perfect. Well, thank you for spending your afternoon with us. We're really excited. Anthony, same to you. Tell us a little bit about you, what got you into mortgages, and everything you love about being here.
Hey, thanks for having me on here, Haley. And it's also nice to meet everybody. So my name's Anthony. I'm a loan officer in Toms River, New Jersey, in central New Jersey. And yes, there is a central New Jersey for those who are wondering. I'm born and raised here. I kind of stumbled into the mortgage industry right out of I actually dropped out of college because I found a mortgage job. So I started on the operational side. So I was in processing and operations for probably 5 or 6 years before becoming a licensed loan officer in 2018. And yeah, Jackie, Toms River, let's go. And I actually had a really good background in understanding how to do a loan. I was always in I worked in restaurants. I did a lot of service-based jobs prior to getting into this business. But I just kind of stumbled into it. And I feel like once you get into the mortgage industry, and you like it and you're pretty good at it, you're kind of sucked in and you can't get out. So here we are, 12, 13 years later. And that's it. Here we go.
Yeah, well said. That pretty much sums up the real estate world for sure. Once you're in it, you're kind of in it forever.
Can't get out. Yeah.
You can't get out. And we love it. Let's be honest.
I don't love thinking of it as I can't get out, but I want to stay in, right?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Of course.
I agree.
Although maybe some days.
So tell me a little bit about what you guys are seeing that's working, touch plans that are working, ways to keep in contact with people, whether it be popping by or sending easy mailings, or of course, just that white glove service. Tell me a little bit about what's working out there.
Yeah, is it okay if I start? I don't want to interrupt anyone. All right, great. So for me, what I see and what draws me into and what I get for feedback is I love to integrate everything with everything else. Meaning my personal cell is my work cell. I post personal and business on my page. For me, that works. And for me, that's who I resonate with too. And I find with social media, people are really looking for connection, and they connect with you through the personal stuff, but the business stuff kind of shows them who you are and that you're an expert at the same time. So the more quirky, the better. You want to take a picture of your cat hanging from your curtains, awesome. That's hilarious. So I feel like people do overthink it a little bit. And I just did a whole series, T minus whatever days, when I was moving from Florida to Massachusetts. And I just was kind of T minus 21 days. And I had to kind of extend the count because my closing got delayed.
Ugh.
But it was just really what was going on. And it's just so funny because we tend to think that, comments or likes or interaction, it means people are watching it, but that's not it at all. I mean, I had probably 15 people since I moved here come up and be like, "Oh my God, I've been watching your countdown and welcome back," because I wanted everyone to know I'm back. Because you know what happens? Everyone's like, "Oh, can you help me with a loan and maths?" I'm like, "Yeah, I could have for the last 3 years and I still can," but it doesn't matter when you're local and people know you're here, they understand that you can help them, and people like that. And if you do stuff nationwide, you can have a wide reach with social media. There is no boundaries. I mean, I have clients who never knew where I really lived, because how many times have you done an online transaction with someone from who knows where? You know, you're not like asking them. So for me, the quirky stuff really gets me, and it helps me kind of connect to someone, especially when I resonate with it. It's like, oh my God, you know, like I don't have any cats, but if I did, it'd be like, oh my God, I'm a cat mom too, right? When I see stuff with boxers, I'm a boxer mom. I have a boxer and a lab, but for some reason, boxers are just like, I'm obsessed with every and all boxer. And when I see another realtor with a boxer, I'm like, I'm a boxer mom too. I'm like, yeah, we're best friends because we're both boxer moms. So just like tapping into that quirkiness and like whatever you love, like find clients who love what you love and partners who love what you love. And it's just more fun that way too.
Right. And then the connections just happen.
Yeah,
Everything
exactly.
just
Because
flows.
you're not
It's
just
easy.
forcing it, you know?
Yeah.
And I do try to keep like hard politics off my page, like just kind of like saying that out loud. You know, I like to sprinkle in enough for people to kind of like understand who I am and my values, but not enough to where I segregate people for what they think, because I think it's really important. And that's for me. If you're someone who like really can't get along with someone who has an opposite opinion, then go ahead and post it, because you don't want to work with clients anyways, because that probably wouldn't be a good fit. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
so I know there's people who are like, absolutely never. But for me, I'm very like middle of the road. So like, I don't care. But if someone really cares, well, then share your opinions, because you're going to weed out the clients you don't want.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, and when you weed out clients you don't want, you're going to get clients you do want.
Right. I hear that. I hear that. Anthony, how about you? What are you seeing working out there?
I think it's a multitude of things, and in the real estate space, whether you're on the loan side or the real estate side, trying to do multiple things, like not overcommitting is important, but not doing one thing is also probably not great. I like to analyze like a real estate or mortgage business like a stock portfolio. For those who are into stocks, you don't just buy one stock, you buy a fund with 100 stocks in it, or you buy multiple stocks. So for me, like the social media is extremely important. I think there's tremendous value there. I think there's automation that you can do to like stay in touch with either past clients or real estate agents that we work with. But honestly, something that I really have been doing, I'd say in the last 6 months more than I have before, pick up the phone. People don't want to pick up the phone. We have loan officers in our office too. Like, and I will find myself sometimes it's 2 o'clock. I'm like, I haven't picked up the phone today. Why is that? We just don't want to do that. And people want human connection. Kind of, you know, piggybacking off of Katie, like people will like want to work with people that they know, like, and trust, right? There's 300 plus million people in this country. We don't need to all get along, but if you have an interest and you're passionate about something, find people to work with that are. But that's really it. Like the staying in touch with people, like actually, like again, a text message is great. But picking up the phone and actually talking to somebody and not trying to call them and say, hey, I want your business, actually caring about that person. Like you want to, like when I'm talking to a real estate agent or a client or a past client, I like actually care about that person in a way where like, we want to know how you're doing. Like, tell me how you're doing. Like, do you have a family member that's sick? Like, is something going well? And obviously I think social media is very helpful because you're able to kind of like drive those two things together. When I talk to a new real estate agent for the first time, and sometimes like clients, if we really get along, I'm friending those people on Facebook. And you're building a network of people, not that you're trying to get more business out of them, but you're staying top of mind.
Right.
I get calls every day from just people that I know through social media. So it's hard to like, people ask me like, you know, how much business do you get from social media? It's not really that. It's more of the recognition. It's like a free billboard that you're putting out there that, you know, you're able to be heard from, you know?
Yep. I'm the same way, because I'm not using Facebook or Instagram for leads. I'm using it to nurture people I've already connected with, stay connected with friends, partners, realtor I've done a deal with. Like most realtors, you know, if you're just friending and you don't have a deal going with them, they might be like, man, I have enough lender friends, right? But if you're doing a deal with them, they're more likely to accept it. But it's also nice just to like see who they are too. When you call and give an update with the loan and you're like, oh my gosh, I saw you just went to, you know, Tampa. I used to live there, like whatever it might be. It's nice. I like that. I like that personal touch. And I also like getting to know someone on that level. So, you know, that's how I use it similarly. So to try to quantify how much I get from social media, I have no idea, because everything is so intermingled together. There's no like one thing. It's just like, that's just how I operate.
Yeah.
Right. And to touch on Anthony, when you're saying picking up the phone, if you pick up the phone, you have to talk to that person. You know, if you send a text message every now and then, it could get lost in the shuffle, or, oh, my son was on my phone. I didn't see it. I got the message, you know, and then before you know it, you're lost with the other 25 unread messages that that person has in their phone. To where if
Yeah,
you call, you could be more likely to get a call back and make
mhm,
that connection that you guys are talking about, and creating that relationship.
for sure.
Tell me a little bit about where you see agents or even yourself sometimes overcomplicating follow up to where you could maybe be too much or sometimes not enough. What's some advice that you can share with us on that, Anthony, when it comes to staying connected without being too much?
Um, that's a good question. I think less is more sometimes, but I feel like quality over quantity, right?
Yes.
I will hear people say like, oh, I made 150 phone calls today. Like no one's making 150 phone calls and you're like connecting on any sort of like meaningful level, right? If you're nurturing a buyer, a seller, a partner relationship, whether it's like, a business to business relationship, again, I think it's like checking in. I mean, I think we, someone said this at some point, but like everyone does certain things, right? Like everyone through a CRM gets a Christmas email, a Thanksgiving email, a President's Day email, a Martin Luther King Day email. I would try and stand out from the pack and do something different on different dates. So I can't give you an example off the top of my head, but I would just be different, like in a weird way. Like I don't know if that's a dumb answer, but like that's just
No,
how I see things.
I dig it. Being quirky, like Katie said before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One thing I used to do, I haven't done it in a bit and I should get back to it, but I used to, in the beginning of the month, message everyone happy birthday month.
that's
Um,
awesome. That's a good idea.
because like if your birthday is on like the 18th, like not many people are messaging you the first of the month being like happy birthday month, because I believe birthdays should be celebrated all night long. And I'm so bad with birthdays with my own family. I'm like, well, like I've had like 16 calendars, but I think that people want something a little different. Everyone loves a birthday. I don't know many people who don't love like celebrating, right? So like something like that could work. I often message people when they come up in my mind because that means they're coming up for a reason and it could be totally random. And it's just like, hey, I was just thinking about you today. Like, how's the house coming along? Have you guys done any renovations since you bought it? Like something like that
Yeah.
to me goes a long way. And I try multiple different avenues of connecting. Like if I really want to get in touch with someone, like let's say I'm like, oh my God, they could save $600 a month if they haven't refinanced. Like I will email them, I will call them, I will text them, and I usually will reference the other things so they don't think I'm like a crazy psycho. I'm like, hey, listen, I tried to email you, wanted to shoot you a text. Like it's not time sensitive, but I do think I could really help in this case. Like, so if I need to get a hold of someone, I will. And so everyone knows that. And I don't do it in a way where they're like, oh my God, because I'm just like, hey, I just tried to give you a call, but wasn't sure if text was easier. Like, let me know a good time to connect. So I'm always using multiple methods. Like Anthony said, people hate calls. And I'm like, pick up the phone. I'm
Yeah.
a crazy texter, by the way. So, like, I'm not saying I don't use text every day. I use text because I'm often in meetings and then I try to set up times to chat because I can't answer the phone all the time when people call. So I do like to set the expectation like text is best. Like you're going to get me better because if I have 2 minutes before my next call, I'm not going to pick up the phone and call someone. I'm going to text them and say, hey, do you want to, connect around 2 or something like that. But like having some sort of consistency with when you reach out to people. So something like a birthday month or, if there's a random holiday like National Ice Cream Day or I don't know, and you're like, hey, listen, are
I
you going to
agree.
get ice cream today? Because like I'm thinking of you and here's my ice cream sundae, whatever.
Yeah.
Like people are just like, oh my God, I love ice cream.
That's
I
Like,
fair.
like
I don't
it.
know.
Yeah. That might be better than a holiday, like
That
I
a
would
think
be
I might
traditional holiday.
just message people on National Ice Cream Day and try to eat a sundae the whole day.
you
I like
can.
it.
Something you can do as well, like which again, like I think one overarching theme here is like do what you like do set yourself up where you could be consistent. Don't try and overcomplicate it, right? Like, from like a marathon analogy. Like if I don't run, like I don't run. I can't run. I'm like too large to run and I don't like it. But if I said to everybody here today, like I'm gonna start running 5 miles a day tomorrow, every day. I'm gonna try it one day, fail, and then never do it again. But instead, why don't I walk a mile a day for 3 weeks? Like, so try and bite off what you can actually chew and don't overdo it. Like it's like you're doing more than what most people are doing anyway. Most people are not doing anything. So if you do a little bit of something, it's better than trying this like really complicated plan that you end up not wanting to do. Something that is actually kind of interesting. If you want to try and touch, your database quarterly, if you do every week, one, it could be an hour, you could time block whatever you need, but you could start with the last two initials of their names and go through it every week, and every quarter reset. So if you start like January, the first week of January, you hit every client or person in your database with the last name that starts A and B. The next week, C and D, and you move through that. Every quarter, you basically get in touch with those same people. It's all randomized. It's not like you're trying to call everyone in your database within 2 days.
Yeah.
You're just breaking it up, and you're making it something where you can spend 30 to 40 minutes a week doing that, and it becomes fun, and you build relationships that way.
Yeah, I like that. Talking about doing stuff like that, if an agent had to build a touch plan, where they're going to contact people all of the time, what are some non-negotiable touches that you would say? I know we talked about birthdays. I like that. Do you feel like maybe sending a text message instead of an email to kind of stick out from the crowd? What would you guide agents on that manner, to where if they still want to say something for the holidays, but they don't want to get caught up in that mumbo jumbo, maybe
make it personal if you can.
Personal.
Like if you know they have a son named Caleb, then say like, hey, I hope your Caleb's having a magical Christmas and your new home, because we get a lot of those random like Christmas trees, Merry Christmas from my real estate office to you. Like, okay, cool. I'm like, okay. Yeah, it's fine. But like, it doesn't feel like anything. Like, message something that warrants a response.
Yeah.
Like, way to put it.
Or maybe you tell them, hey, I don't want to bother you on your holiday, but I just want you to know I'm thinking of you and your family on your first Christmas in your home. Yeah. Like, let's reconnect after the holidays, because then they're just going to say, okay, great. Sounds great. Something that warrants them responding, but like doesn't take much effort.
Yeah.
Because people do want to respond, but if you ask them like a long question, especially on a holiday, it's like, oh man, it's Thanksgiving and I'm trying to prep food. I don't want to.
Yeah.
But I'll say thank you so much. Sounds great.
Leaves the door open.
Yeah. And just making it personal. Like, everything is so automated, and I love automation and AI and things like that. But like, at what point does it not feel like we're connecting with people at all?
That human touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with Katie. I don't have much more to say. I mean, again, like, if we're all in charge of our own business, right? So like, depending on what you like, build your touch point plan based on that, right? In the Northeast, it's been a brutal winter. So like, I think everyone has been like just, I don't know. It's not fun. I want to move to Florida every other day.
Snowed out. We're snowed out.
Florida's not all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Katie just came back from Florida.
I know, after 3 years, and I'm like, what's in the?
Yeah. Katie, we have to talk offline about that, actually, because I need you to talk me down.
Yeah.
But it's a commonality, right? Like, everybody's like sick of the snow. So it's something you could reach out to somebody and just talk about. Like, again, Katie mentioned it before, but if you're thinking of somebody, like, or you're feeling like a certain type of way, just call somebody or text somebody. I think the automation, again, we're going to repeat a couple of topics here. The automation is like necessary and it's helpful, but I mean, I get so many automated like texts and not texts, even, I get automated texts.
Now,
but if I text like a client with my own cell phone, like that, I'm the person. Like, I don't delete text messages. We have conversations. I could even look back at that conversation and look at what we were talking about or some common themes, even if I don't remember things, and like kind of like follow up on that. Like, hey, how's grandpa doing? Like whatever. It's just being personal.
Right. I like it. What are some tips that you guys have for agents? They should be thinking differently about staying in touch with people who aren't quite ready yet. Maybe they need to work on their credit, or, they need to save a little bit more for a down payment. What do you think is a good way to stay in touch with someone who's not quite ready to make a jump just yet?
I'll take that if that's all right.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
Let's just start. So can you repeat the question?
What is it?
So excited, Anthony.
He was so fired up. He forgot.
I know.
I got this. Katie, stand down.
He's like ringing the buzzer. He's like, it's me. How do you think agents should think differently about staying in touch with buyers or even sellers who aren't quite ready yet? Whether they need to save, or they got to fix credit, or their lease isn't up for a while.
Yeah. So take good notes, right? So you're remembering specific things about that. And I think how you stay in touch with that person depends on what their situation is, when their lease is up, what their credit score is, right? And that's working with the right partner on the loan side, to make sure that you're working that lead or that client to get as a team, right? If someone needs credit repair, that loan officer real estate team should be following up together every 2 months, like setting calendar reminders. Again, whatever like makes sense. Like I'm not the best at CRMs. I wish I was better. But I'll set calendar reminders. Like I looked this morning, I had a calendar reminder from 2 months ago to text the client I had a conversation with. I put the notes in there and it was done. I would also make sure you're speaking to your team, whether it's a real estate attorney, a loan officer, home inspectors, like everyone, and working and really understanding, like listening to when people talk, right? So a common theme that we have, like something that we've done, is we talk to agents that we work with about just the different like things that we have to offer, and we work that into like a conversation, right? So 203K home style renovation loans are like pretty common. Annie Mac, they're not pretty common, but they can be. We do them very well here. So in those types of scenarios, right, just to give you some like boring information, but if a buyer buys a home and they need to do a renovation, depending on the scope of work that needs to be done, you could roll in up to 6 payments in your renovation, like of the property when you buy it. So you could essentially buy a house, fix it up to your desired liking, and not make a mortgage payment for 6 months. So if I'm an agent and I'm talking to a buyer lead and they're in a lease until October, well, guess what? Depending on what their wants and needs are in a home and where their location is, they might actually benefit from a home style or they might benefit from a renovation loan, right? So now instead of having somebody that you're going to put into a CRM and forget about, you can actually start engaging with that client. And obviously it has to make sense, right? They have to understand the product, they have to qualify for the product, they have to want it. But it is like a different way of approaching the business as a real estate agent. I also want to say that we, like, real estate agents and loan officers are on two very different sides of the business. So it's like a left and right brain. Like, so I can't get into every agent's head, obviously. But I try as much as possible. And like, we have other like just little tricks and things that, I don't know, we do to like keep in touch with people. I talk too much. I'm sorry.
And no, that was great. And bouncing off of each other is a good way too. So we're like, next month I'm going to follow up. The next month you follow up with the buyer. Then I'm going to follow up in March. Then you follow up in April. So this way it doesn't feel all on one person. And if you kind of create that team like you're talking about, then it kind of could be like a team effort for sure.
Oh, yeah. And I do something very similar. So like I look at it as planting seeds, right? And I'm going to have them grow whenever they grow. But I really work hard to train my agents to send those clients to me ahead of time. Like I want to work with them a year, 8 months, 5 months ahead of time for a lot of reasons. One, they get in my CRM. So now they're in front of me, so they don't lose sight of me. Like that also helps me reconnect them with the agent. Two is I can't tell you how many people come to me and they're like, yes, I've been preparing for the last 6 months and I'm ready now. And they paid off a car. And I'm like, why did you do that? That didn't help us. Like your debt to income is not the problem. And they're like, oh, but so I tell people these stories because I see them all the time when people wait and come to me later. And so I do a really good job of convincing people to do the application now because that's really what's in their best interest. So like, it's really easy to tell them why that is when you have many, many examples. So like partnering with the right lenders who are okay taking those leads. I understand not every lender is going to want them. And sometimes it kind of sucks because it's like, you'll get 6 applications and all of them are buying this year. And it's like, that's amazing though, because I have 6 clients that are going to be buying this year. So I personally try to like really shoot for the application. I do a soft credit pull to start. I don't know how Anthony's team runs, but that's just how we do it because we do a lot of like credit challenged borrowers and a lot of prep work with our clients. So we have to do it that way just to kind of preserve everything for them. So it's really no risk. I tell people, listen, the only risk on you is time, and there's time on my side too, but I only get paid when you get this loan. So we're in it together and we work together to figure it out. And that is helpful for them. Then they can include, I can have those touch points. They can have the touch points. They have the CRM going. Like it's just, we're approaching it from a lot of different ways. And that client feels so taken care of because you're listening to their needs. You're like, we're not trying to get you into a house right now. Trying to make sure that when you do get in the house, you're going to have the best terms and the best options. And guess what? How many times have I gotten a call that their mom's neighbor's house came on the market and they'd love to live next door to family and it works out and they close? Like that happens all the time.
Awesome.
So like there's a lot of benefits to just being ready when you want to work on your own terms. Like I don't want to ever force anyone to do something. Like I'm working around what you're comfortable with and what time frame makes sense for you. Sometimes I approve people and they're like, I didn't think I'd be ready now.
Yeah.
Like, well, you are.
Well, you're ready. Yeah. Well, that's like
Right.
what you're saying. Like the whole theme of today is relationships over transactions. So what you just said is the perfect example of that. Like we're not trying to push people to get them into houses like today or tomorrow.
Right.
Like, it's okay if it's going to take you 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Like you said, we're here with you. We're going to work together. We're going to do it together. And like you said, maybe paying off a car wasn't the best idea. We could have kept that money liquid.
Right.
That could have been, towards a down payment or buying down your rate or something.
And I do the same thing for refinances. So like connecting with your closings and past clients as a realtor and letting them know, hey, the market's been improving, reach out to, if you know their lender, you can connect them with them. If it was an awful transaction, you can connect them with us. So like we'll do a couple things. We'll make sure that they're ready to go when the time comes, because when rates go down, it's going to be a mad dash a little bit. And so we want to be prepared. And I want to know at what point does it make sense for that client? So that's a great touch point for realtors too. And they think, oh, well, I'm not going to get much from it. But I ask a lot of questions. It's like, oh, hey, how long do you plan on being in this house? Like, this is an important piece to know so we can support you. And sometimes they're like, oh, I'm hoping within the next year. It's like, okay, well, you shouldn't refinance then, and
But you
that's a
should call
great
your
way.
agent.
Yeah, I'm like, we're going to call him back and be ready. Yeah. So, there's a lot of connection that happens, in my opinion, when people aren't ready to buy. And it's such a missed opportunity. And people are denied, right? Like, I love talking to people who are denied because some people don't take the time to figure out what they can do to get approved. I literally sometimes put notes, borrower needs a higher paying job, more income, more savings, less debt, better credit. Like, those are sometimes my notes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's all those things at once. And who am I to say they're never going to buy anything? Like, I want to tell them what they have to do. I don't know if their situation is going to change.
Right.
I have a lot of clients buying with family members too right now and just like pulling resources. Like I tell clients, listen, I'll listen to any crazy idea you have. I'll throw out some crazy ideas myself, like whatever you need. But it all goes down to like that connection. And as a new realtor, especially, like if someone got denied and you can connect them with someone to get them in a better place, that's a great resource. They're going to come back to you.
Yeah. And they're going to refer as many people as possible to you.
Yep.
I say often, like, and Katie, what you said is fantastic. And like, I think we don't really talk this way, but we lead with like a consultant educational like perspective, right? We care about the people that we talk to. Like, we want them to understand what they're doing. Like, buying a home is, for most people, their biggest purchase that they're ever going to make, right? It was mine. So when we're talking to clients and opportunity and people that want to buy, sometimes it doesn't make sense for them to buy right now. And as an agent, that's actually better to know than to have a pre-approval forced down their throat, and then you're taking them out to a house that they really can't afford. So that conversation also is extremely important now and up front, because if someone can qualify, that's great, but they might not even want to afford that home. And then that's, I don't want to say it's a waste of time for the agent, but imagine taking somebody all over the place for 6 months and then you find out, they go under contract with their Rocket Mortgage pre-approval and they didn't know there were closing costs. So many lenders don't explain that part of the process.
They don't know what the payment is.
They don't know what the payment is, right? Like, I've had clients recently, like and there's nothing wrong with it, just people don't know. But I've had new buyers or like first-time home buyers where they want their mortgage payment to be $1,000. That's very difficult in New Jersey. And like, I will nicely explain how and why that's difficult, but that person deserves to understand why. Like, you see on TikTok that someone in New Mexico or in the Midwest bought a home for $120,000. Yeah, that mortgage payment's going to be affordable, but not here, right? So like, that needs to be part of the conversation, because then it does turn into what Katie was saying. Do you live with anybody now? Would you buy a home with your sister or your parents or someone? And then next thing you know, you're buying a multifamily house together, creating generational wealth. And that's not always the case. That's like a success story. But you understand what people are, you've got to like tell them what's going on. You can't just like Google what a mortgage payment is. There's too many other factors there.
No.
So it's very important to take that like educational approach to like talk to people.
Yeah, and I do that all the time too. I just had a client who her mom was pre-approved and looking to buy, and she added her daughter because her daughter was looking for an investment property. So like her mom basically put her money down and bought one unit, and the daughter was going to take care of the other two units as investments.
Awesome.
They're splitting the mortgage 1/3, 2/3. Like it's literally perfect.
Yeah.
The mom would have never found something that she could call her own and not have to worry about moving out of.
Oh,
Like it worked for everybody. The daughter got to save money for her next investment property. Like it literally was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And they didn't even know about that option, you know, and it's
That's a
like,
good one.
hey, if someone's going to live there, we have a lot of options. You
Yeah.
5% down on a multifamily if someone's going to live there.
Yeah.
You know, it's great opportunity. And buying together, I'm seeing a lot of people buy with cousins and family members. And that's not without caution, by the way. I owned a house with my sister. It didn't end great at the time. And so I learned a lot from it. And I tell people, you want to get things in place to be protected so you know what is expected from everyone involved. But I obviously redirect them to other people for that. But I'm not just saying, hey, yeah, this is a good idea. Let's buy with your friend Joe up the road or someone who you
We're
work with
good.
who you've never. Yeah. So it's deeper than that. And I tell them, listen, I'll entertain any crazy ideas you have too if you come up with something.
Yes.
So-
And that just goes to that again, the relationship being
Mhm.
more important than the transaction. Like, sure, you could buy a house with your boyfriend of 3 months and you guys could be pre-approved and pre-qualified and ready to go and out there shopping.
I jokingly tell my clients I love when people buy a house and they're unmarried because I have 3 loans out of it. I have the first loan, I have the buyout, and then I have the new house.
You're so bad. Oh my gosh.
It's so bad, but they laugh. I'm like, I'm not saying that's your situation, just things to consider, you know? No, it is. And I'm brutally honest with people. Like I have a client today. I updated her pre-approval and she wants to go FHA. She has a 790 credit score. She has the money down, but she wants to do FHA. And I told her, you're going to pay 1.75% of the loan as a fee rolled in, like you qualified, we're good. I just want you to know the differences. And she's like, nope, I'm fine with it. I want to keep my money in my savings, my buffer. I'm like, okay, as long as you know this is costing you more in the long run, like it's not my decision to make.
Right. And just,
you know, it's
my
my duty as the loan officer, in my opinion, to share the information like, hey, just so you know, this would be a lower payment and lower money borrowed overall, but it would cost a little bit more upfront. Like I'm doing my job. I don't care if she goes with FHA. It doesn't bother me a bit. She can do whatever she wants, but I just want to give her the information. And that's the other thing I think a lot of people do. We make assumptions on what our clients want without really even offering it to them. You know, I have down payment assistance with FHA that's very high monthly cost. But some people want that. Like they don't care. They'd rather keep liquid for whatever reason, or they just don't have the money, but the payment's not a worry to them. Like that's not my decision to make. I just feel like a lot of people say, oh, I'm not going to do that loan. It's so expensive. Well, I'm going to tell people, listen, this is a very expensive loan compared to other ones, but I'm not going to make that decision for them.
Right. Yeah, I like that. That's good thinking, you know, giving them all the information instead of just assuming, you know,
We
that
make so many
it's going to go
assumptions. It's just
conventional,
natural.
obviously. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. All right. So to wrap up this little part, what is a realistic cadence, would you say, staying top of mind? Anthony, I know you said doing once a quarter, contacting them and reaching out through your database. Katie, would you agree once a quarter is like the minimum?
I would say that's the minimum. And admittedly, I have not done the best job of that with moving, but with moving back, there's a lot I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be partnering with like some local companies to do some events too, to kind of like give back to that company and my clients in the past. So my goal is to have some sort of connection, or at least that they're opening an email or a text once a month. So I'm going on a little bit of a different plan because a lot of my clients are local to this area. But I think quarterly is plenty. But the fact is when we touch base with people or have a conversation, how many times have they been like, oh, my friend's looking, I'm going to send them your info. So if someone's going to potentially send me a referral, let's say every 3 times I talk to them, I'm going to want to talk to them more.
Yeah.
There's also like different ways of like, not different ways, but I mean, to ask for the referral. Like you don't have to like bluntly ask. You could sneak it into a conversation or into a message, but like you could ask for the referral. I've gotten a lot of referrals by like saying, hey, if you know anybody that's like looking to buy or sell or talk to somebody, like I'm here. I'm here to have a conversation with that person. So,
and make that one of your touch points. That's okay. If once a year you call people and say, hey, I'm doing my annual Ask for Business call. like I'm, growing my business, as you know, and I know you had a great experience. Like, who do you know right now who's buying, selling, or refinancing?
Yeah,
Could you pass along my information to one person? Like,
it works.
that can be a touch point.
Yeah. And in that way too, saying it like that, it doesn't feel as transactional. You
Right.
kind of touch back and you say, I know that you had a kick-ass experience, like we had a great job. You love your new house. Let me help someone else that get into a house. Let me help someone else that save $500 a month by refinancing or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to feel awkward and like weird and just
Yeah.
like sending them a text like, hey, who do you know that I should know that wants to make a move? Like you don't have to make it weird.
No, everyone makes it so weird. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is happening right now?
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. So we'll touch a little bit now on some personal branding and some social media tips and tricks. Um, both of your guys' profiles have a good amount of followers. You guys have strong content. What do you see getting the most traction that when you share? Anthony, tell us a little bit about your we'll call it a strategy.
Um, I feel underqualified to answer this. I think doing something is better than doing nothing. I think using your personal page to post and trickle in mortgage and real estate related content is important. Like you definitely need to put some personal stuff on there. Like I think people you like are connected with on social media want to see that you're a normal person. We touched on that at the beginning. Um, but I think for me, like I'm mostly like I have TikTok. I don't really post on TikTok. But Instagram and Facebook have been like what I've been on for a long time. So I have a lot of connections there. But most people that I'm personally friends with are real estate people, like more peers or real estate agents that like are in our network of people. And I mean, the reality with that is like when I post a video, I'm posting for realtors and peers. I'm like I'm not trying to get clients to click on me and apply. Now that does happen. I have friends that I have someone closing in 10 days who we're connected with, who I went to high school with, and like we just stayed in touch. And he reached out to me 6 months ago and said, "Hey, I'm a veteran. I could buy a house," and he's buying a home, right? So again, there's not really like I don't think there's one right way to do it, but it's kind of picking a strategy where like you can post something and you can be consistent with something and get business from it.
Right. And exactly like you said, I wouldn't say that this is underqualified to speak.
Hmm.
I
I
feel
haven't
like
posted
you
as much.
said, you do a nice job of sprinkling in personal with some business. We've got some pictures of the family. We've got
Yeah.
some funny chats, talking about the Jersey Shore real estate investors and things, casual headshot, nice little plug there. So I would say, oh, stop. See, this is the stuff that people want to see. And these are the connections that we're talking about. This is the stuff that's going to lead to creating and building those relationships. Katie, too, you mentioned doing, love this, love this. Staying on a couple of trends every now and then is always going to
That's funny.
bring extra
The
eyes.
sound was literally perfect. I was like, but you can literally hear my shoes like clacking on the floor in the first one.
Oh
I was
my
just
goodness.
dancing in my office.
Yeah, but like,
yeah, my weight loss journey, like my kids, like
this is the stuff that people want to see. This
Yep.
was great. This was great.
This is my daughter. Like, oh, pre-qual, pre-approval, and then like platinum.
Yeah.
So she had a lot of fun with it too. So yeah, I do put a lot of things in. My house, I just moved. So I posted like pictures of the chaos a little bit, just some updates. I like doing things like I loved doing like my T minus, because it held me accountable every day.
Right.
I did 40 days of sugar fasting and I posted like once a day in my stories with that. So for me, I love those little challenges or whatever. I have friends who send me TikToks that they're like, do this one. I'm like, cool, that sounds good. I had my friend in Florida. She helps people moving from Mass to Florida because she moved from there as well. And so I sent her a video of me driving. I was like, use this on why people should move to Florida.
Oh, all the snow and people running around.
Pretty much. It was like, yeah, coming down really hard. So I was like, that's your next video. So like people do a lot of exchanging of videos with me. I sometimes do stitches with like funny ones. For me, like this is the year of fun. And I think that if we can all just have more fun,
Yeah.
life would be a lot more wonderful. And so I don't want to just like, I don't want to just like post something that doesn't feel exciting. Like even my reviews, I've been posting, I think, can you scroll down?
Yeah,
I
to
forget what day I'm on.
272.
289. So I'm on day 289 and I get no interaction on these. Like, I don't care. It's totally fine. But let me tell you, every time I see someone, they mention this. They're like, oh my God, I see all your reviews. That's so amazing. Like, I'm loving, I love all your reviews, but I don't get likes really. One,
You
usually
get
it's
real life
me.
likes. Those are real life likes. We call those.
Yeah,
People are
yes,
liking
exactly.
them.
So
They're
like
just telling you in
having
person.
something that's like fun. And I personally think that when I'm watching someone's real estate page and they're like, oh, 40 days of, tips on how to buy your first home, I will resonate with me more than someone just posting 40 days in a row
Mhm.
of content. Like I know it
Bingeable
seems
content.
silly, but it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a series. I'm like, oh, what's their tip today? I don't know
Yeah.
why it feels so different to me.
I think that's a psychology thing because that feels legit for sure. Because
Right?
you see, people do like 10 days of recipes. You're like, oh, what's recipe number 9? Like, what's it?
Yeah. So like
Um,
that works for me and I like it because it holds me accountable because I'm like, oh, I've committed to doing
mhm.
these days. Like I didn't miss a single day and there were days I wanted to. There was one I was like in bed. I hurt my knee and I was like, yeah, T minus whatever. Like I'm over it
Mhm.
today, kind of
Yeah.
whatever. But I still posted. And especially those ones where it's like tips, you can schedule them out. So we did this. It took a while. It took like a month to put this together. We had like 900 reviews and we whittled it down to like some of our favorites. And we used a website called Buffer. So you could we scheduled them all ahead of time through LinkedIn,
Nice.
Instagram, and Facebook. And it posted a certain time every day. And it took a lot to do up front. But like if you're someone who is worried about doing something, like, oh, I don't know if I can commit, well, commit to 10 days, but do it all like in one day
Yeah.
and schedule it.
Set it and
But
forget it.
yeah, exactly. And maybe it's recipes, 10 days of recipes with a realtor. Like you want people to know you're a realtor. So you can kind of like someone make note of that. I'm going to start to see
Yeah.
if you
You got to look
write
for the
recipes with
hashtag.
your realtor.
Yeah.
And I use a lot of what's it called? Like neuro-linguistic programming where I use words like, oh, when you buy the house and when you work with me,
Mhm.
to kind of subliminally make sure people are working with me
Sure.
because
Yeah.
it makes a difference. Like I kind of like assume they're going to want to work with me because why wouldn't they?
That's right. That's right.
I see that
Really
you're
quick.
not following me, but that's fine.
I know. My bad. Um, so really quick, I just want to touch on your guys' bios. A little tips and tricks. If you click on Katie's bio or you click on Anthony's bio, you see who they are, kind of what they do. Of course, we have our NMLS numbers in here for all of that good compliance stuff. Realtors, luckily, some states we don't need those. New Jersey, luckily, we do not because it can just gum stuff up. But you can see who they are, what they do, and a little bit about them. Mom to 2 girls, real estate investor, dad to Roman and Lincoln. Like those are things that are going to help people connect with you and want to work with you down the line. So that's just something to keep in mind. Check your Instagram bios, make sure that they're optimized with some kind of information about what you do. You can talk about where you do it when it comes to real estate, since we're a little more honed in than our mortgage people are. But that's going to be top priority, and that's my challenge for you guys today. Everyone on the call is to go check out your Instagram bio, your Facebook bio. Make sure that it has information that's pertinent to you, what you're doing, with a little bit of cutesy fun stuff in here as well.
And stop being so like held back with your information. I can't tell you how many realtors I try to get a hold of because I call the agents when my clients make offers and I'm like, where is their phone number? Where is their
Yeah.
email? Like, why
Yeah.
is this so hard? Don't make it hard for someone to find you.
Yeah.
It's wild. I know realtors see this sometimes too. I'm like, why does it only have an office phone number? I'm sorry. Like if you want to get a business cell phone, like that's fine if you don't want to mix them all together. But there needs to be a number that goes directly to you if you want to be successful in business. And if you don't want to be, that's okay. If you just want to, take a call if the office calls you, like that's fine. But you're not going to reach the level of success that you may want to without that. I'm like, please give me your phone number, your email, something.
Yeah, for sure. You're spot on with that. Anthony, tell us one story to kind of wrap up today where you feel like you needed to find some motivation, you couldn't find it, what is a habit or a system that's going to keep you in tune and locked in to something that you've committed to?
Mhm. Accountability. Talking about your goals with peers. Like I have two partners that we run our branch together. Um, and we talk about things that we want to do and we'll hold each other accountable. Sounds kind of like dorky, but I mean, it's pretty easy. Like Greg, for example, like we talk at night sometimes and we'll talk about like what we want to do. And then like, it's 3 o'clock the next day and we haven't done that thing yet. And we're like, hey, like, why don't we do that? And it sounds so basic and it is, but like it's really simple. Like care and communicate and like actually do it. Again, I have days where like I don't do anything. Like I think it's we're human beings, like we're allowed to do that. But also for myself, I don't try and bite off more than I could chew. Like I was posting for like a couple years ago, I had hired a videographer and we were making like videos once a month. He was editing them, sending them back to me. I was posting 3 times a week. I was starting to see results from that, but like it became unfun for me. And I stopped doing it. Like I might start doing something like that again, but I might post once a week or twice a week, not 3 times. Now there might be people on this call that are listening that want to post every day and it's fun for them. Do it. That's fine. I just think like make sure you're being honest with yourself and you're not like you're setting yourself up where you can actually like do it. And it's not difficult for you.
Right. And consistency is going to be the numero uno priority. That is one of the most important things that I feel like people can kind of bite off too much than they can chew. Like you just said, Anthony, Katie, you mentioned it earlier, like just doing too much and then starting it for 2 days and then pausing and cutting it out. Now
Mhm.
you look like a little unreliable, especially if you're telling everyone that you're going to do something and then you don't do it. You're looking a little unreliable, you're looking a little untrustworthy. All words that we don't want to hear when it comes to real estate and realtor partners. So, Katie, to wrap us up to you, do you have anything else that you want to add or another fun thing that we should share with the realtors for today?
I mean, for me, it's just like get out of your head too. I can't tell you how many times I do things on the first take because I can tell you it doesn't get better. Just do it. Just do it and post it. It doesn't matter. Like, unless I literally like trip by accident on a video, I'm pretty much posting the first take on most of the stuff you see. And sometimes I'm like, hey, hold on. I'm back. Like, just go with it. Just be you. And people love that. People love bloopers. I had one time, one of the posts, I'll end with the story. I had my daughter who's 5 and it was like T-minus amount of days. And she was like helping me out with it. She's like, okay, I'll say until this. Like, so I was like, until we moved from Florida. And she was like, back to Massachusetts. So like, that was what she wanted to do. And I messed something up and she's like, you messed it up. I was like, well, we're still recording. And she's like, but you messed it up. And I was like, no, we're good. Because I want to teach her just roll with it. And she was so mad. She like left the room. I posted anyways. I posted it as a blooper, but like just post it and post it as a blooper if it gets really bad, like what you don't see when a realtor is trying to record a video, like just like don't take it too seriously. That's when I see people record like 6, 7 versions, that's hard. That's hard when you're trying to record content.
Yeah.
Like
And then you just self-critique.
yeah.
You end up just posting the first one anyway. So
and sometimes my hair is like sticking up like out like this or like I caught it on something and I'm like, oh, okay. Like that's interesting, but it doesn't matter. Like no one really cares.
Yeah. The authenticity. That's what people want to see.
Yes.
Sure.
All right, cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. Anthony, Katie, thank you so much for your time and talking with us about how it's more important to build relationships than it is to just grab transactions. Thanks, everyone. We appreciate your time. This recording will be available shortly, and we'll be sure to get it out to everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Bye.